Okay, so you can take a seat or lie down, closing the eyes, opening the palms, and taking a few deep breaths. And then resting the awareness to the breath and just letting all of the pressure lift up and out. There is such a huge level of unnecessary pressure that we navigate our lives from. And I really feel that today could be a beautiful day to just alleviate all this pressure. Because everything that we are doing in life, that we are engaging in, whether that is parenting or work, creation, being there for one another, all of it can be done from a different place and space than what we are used to. And of course, it's not as simple as saying, okay, let's alleviate the pressure around everything, and then, like magic, you don't engage from that pressure anymore. But it can help to make a beginning or an opening in that way of being. And this pressure and this stress around everything comes from a very highly identified and highly controlled way of being. And most of us have been born in and around unspoken or spoken pressure. So you incarnate as this soul, you come onto this earth, and the signals that you get from very early on is that in order to do something, it requires stress. In order to get something done, to be something, you have to push through. In order to make something happen, you have to control everything. And if life happens around whatever you do, it means something about you. And what you do means something about you. And how you do it means something about you. Just seeing where you can recognize that. Where you can recognize the huge amounts of hidden pressure. And I think it's a big thing to start to acknowledge that, oh wow, I feel a level of intensity in me all the time. And we become so good at it that we even feel pressure around non-action. Standing in line in the supermarket, picking out a few groceries, standing outside of the school waiting for kids, doing taxes. Everywhere we can find it. And even in interaction with other human beings. Rarely ever do you find a human being that truly relaxes within themselves and then converses from there. So there is so much stress, pressure, urgency inside. And all the things that you're doing and all the things that you wish to make happen can come into being without that energy. And I think it's first of all the recognition that that energy is unnecessary. And second of all, the recognition that that energy lives inside you. It's like this thick, inner, urgent, restless feeling. So getting in touch with that, starting to acknowledge that it's inside of me, because it is. And for some, it comes out in this area, for the other in another area. Others of us are aware that it's with us always, in action as much as in non-action. And then that second recognition that it is unnecessary, that the programming and the conditioning, that this kind of energy or this heavily identified way of being in the world is necessary to get things done, is necessary to move forward, is necessary in any way, letting that programming and conditioning lift off if it's still in any way present. And then starting to humbly and lovingly ask for this inner intensity to move up and out. Just relax your body and tell yourself, essence, creation, that you are ready to know a life that isn't fueled by stress, by urgency, that isn't driven by egoic identification, but by soulful, spacious awareness. Everything that needs to come into being will still come into being. Everything that needs to get done will still get done. You can do it from a place of connection, calm, spaciousness, and now allowing yourself to be uncomfortable for a moment here and to meet the intensity within you, allowing it to amplify. And by allowing it to amplify and giving it a stage, at some point it starts to dissolve. Breathing and relaxing, and wave after wave, letting that energy move up and out. Expand, relaxing your body as much as possible as that uncomfortable feeling expands, and then allowing it to lift off. And as it's lifting off, starting to feel into how calm and beautiful life can feel. If within yourself the urgency, the stress, the pushing back at something, even if there's nothing, all of that energy, if that is quiet, if instead you can feel spaciousness, how beautiful it is, starting to feel a warmth and a grace and a gentleness flow in your body. And really allowing every programming and conditioning to crumble down, and really allowing every person in your life that is showing you that way of being, parents, people that you grew up around, educators, anybody that has modeled to you in behavior, in energy, that this is necessary, allowing them to also dissolve until there's just you and how you choose to move forward in life. And of course, when there is stress, feel it, let it move through your body, and then take a breath. And continue the action from calm, softening your jaw, unclenching your butt cheeks, starting to feel really soft. Or becoming aware of how much harshness you held inside that beautiful form of yours. And seeing that when life is bringing anything up, it is actually bringing it up to allow it to move, to allow it to lift off. More and more committing to this calm, gentle way of being in the world. And it's not possible to bypass that which is inside you. This is why we do have to feel it. We do have to recognize its presence, but we can shift the fuel from which we take action in this life. From stress and overwhelm and survival and hyper-identification and control to letting that energy move through whenever it's there and shifting a gear into softness, into calm, into warm and fuzzy mode. Hey, I can parent with warm and fuzzy mode. Hey, I can create in warm and fuzzy mode. And really, warm and fuzzy mode is the gift you give yourself. And what we have done is we've driven this vehicle on an automatic setting of survival, of overwhelm. So now I think we can allow ourselves to shift a gear, which by no means means that we bypass the energy, because the energy has been stored inside us and can now freely flow. But in doing that, and every time you do that, you uncover the possibility and the potential of calm, the possibility and the potential of getting things done without attachment and hyper-identification. Allowing life to happen. You are happening in life as life, and life is happening around you. And you don't have to prove anything. And I really feel that all that stress and all that intensity is stored in humanity because it's been born into a conditional framework of love. So also recognizing that it's nobody's fault. It's also not your parents and how they held themselves or how they were with you. There's no fault here. There is just an incomplete modeling of love. There's been a conditional love energetically present in your life. Because if you do it right, you get rewarded. If you do it wrong, then the flow of the warm and the fuzzy is cut off. And we are here to reframe that and to recognize that the love and the flow of the warmth and the fuzziness actually never can be cut off. That we have given people that we looked up to or felt connected to, or people that were parenting us or whatever, the power to control the flow of love. But we realize now that this is not accurate, that actually you can leave yourself connected to this unconditional love. And whether something you do is turning out to be a success or not, by no means does it actually fluctuate the experience of love. And this is where all the stress really can freely lift off. Because actually you cannot do it wrong and you cannot mess it up. And creation and your soul and your essence is never conditional with you. Even though every human being in your life, at least all human beings that haven't embodied this love and this potential, they have been. So it's quite a recognition. Wow, I've received conditional love from parents. I've received conditional love from partners. I've received conditional love from friends. Nobody's fault. But this is why there's so much stress in life, because if the love lies outside of you and it has conditions, then of course you can mess it up. Then of course you have to be very scared. Then of course you feel stressed all the time. Then of course you feel like you have to hold on to things and control things. But if you are in the truth of your essence, and if you are allowing yourself, because you can actually commit to allowing yourself to bathe in the warm and fuzziness, always, because that's the truth of you, and nobody can give it, nobody can take it away, you can allow it. And when you allow it, you start to see that, wow, I can now really let go of all this intensity and this illusion of control. Because no matter what I do, I am in this love. And I am this love. And so then it also starts to become less about your identity and your form and what you think it's about or what it's doing right or what it's doing successfully and who it is in the world. Because you start to know yourself as this love, as this warmth. And I feel that this is where we are headed, really a profound shift from stress and overwhelm that was only ever in place because we had a conditional framework of love, to this stress-free, spacious, loving, soft way of being, because we realize we are bathing in the very love we so desired. And there's nothing you have to do. And at the same time, all that intensity that we all held because we were so scared. In the end of the day, we were so scared to be rejected. So we held on to all of this intensity and we started to behave in the exact way that we thought we never would. So all of that cannot be bypassed. Life is bringing that up. You are not making a wrong step when it comes up. Just recognize that, okay, this is coming up. It's a part of an old paradigm. It's a part of what is left over from an unconditional framework of love and life. And now I choose to step into something. So when that energy comes up, you open your heart to it. You experience it and you open your heart to yourself. And you start to notice that you are forever bathing in love, and you always have. We have just been landing in a reality that thinks it needs to shut it off when there's a perceived misstep or something that we deem to not be okay. But we can let the tap on, the infinite tap of the love, or we can recognize it's always been on. We just get on board with that truth and start to feel that truth and live in that truth. So seeing how it can feel to live in that truth. Seeing how you are the only one that can commit to moving and acting from a different space than your programming and conditioning. And seeing that your programming and conditioning have only ever been in place because you've been trying to get the love outside yourself. So you always had to be good enough for it. Well, today I'm telling you, you are good enough for it. You are it. It is always with you. And the only one that needs to get on board with that is you. And the only one that can be unconditional with you is you. Because when you are, all of life is. And I tell you why. Because when you let this love in, no matter how much your surroundings is trying to manipulate that, to be conditional, to reject you, to judge you, or whatever, they can't. It doesn't land because it's not real inside your experience of yourself. And living in this truth, I feel, is the biggest blessing you can bring while being on this earth, because every issue on this planet is related to the fact that we have forgotten experientially who and what we are, and who and what we have access to, and what is the deeper truth here. Allowing your whole body to be filled with that warmth, with that energy, with that space, whatever it is for you. Allowing that to expand, into your home, into your neighborhood, making unconditional love accessible, allowing it to move into your village or city. I don't know where we left off, your country, your continent, and the globe. Realizing how powerful you are. This is true power. Allowing yourself to live in the infinite love is true power. And it's sneaky because nobody even needs to know you're doing it. It's just there between you and whomever is supposed to step into that in the course of their lifetime. One person after the other, stepping into the truth of their being and committing to live from it, which does not bypass the fact that you have to experience all the stress that was inside your body, all the frustration that was inside your body. The thing is, you're just going to let it come up and move through. You don't have to identify with it. It's a great thing that it's coming up. It's just coming up because it's leaving. And it's leaving because you are ready to step into a whole new way of being. Committing to that, committing to peace, true peace. True peace can only be found when we hold the stress, the overwhelm, the rage that is dwelling within us, the anxiety, the loneliness, when we hold that, when we allow that to flow, and when we no longer need to become that or identify with that. You are the love, you are the space, you are the presence, you are the field that life flows through. And everything that is flowing through life, inside you, through you, is something that you held there, that you can now let go of. So maybe from today on, when things come up, you can let them and you realize that you're actually being freed. You realize that you're actually stepping in to a potential of true embodied peace and true embodied love. Taking a breath. On the exhale, start moving down through the layers of the earth, spotting your country. I don't know where we're going today. We're first spotting our continent, then our country, city, village, street, neighborhood, your house, your room, your body, and allowing all of your light, energy, presence to move through your pelvis into this earth, committing to being here, recognizing that yes, there's been stress and overwhelm in me, in my life, and yes, I've been feeling that urgency, that restlessness, pretty much a huge percentage of my day. And now I'm just going to let it move through me, not personalize it, and each and every time sense the calm that is the potential. Feel the love that is there anyways. Love is the inceptive energy of creation, which means that intensity, stress, and overwhelm, when we unwind it, by experiencing it, it shifts back into love. When we don't repress it, and when we are not reactive with it, it alchemizes. This is what's happening here. This is what's happening a bit in the soul streams. This is what's happening in the energetic group activations. This is what life wants to do. Love alchemizes energy and reveals the love that it always was. And this is how you shift your form from fear into love, by no longer repressing any energy and by no longer being reactive with any energy, just to let it alchemize. Awareness alchemizes, awareness dissolves. Love alchemizes, love dissolves. Everything is included in the love. The framework isn't, in truth, conditional. The truth and the true framework you're swimming in is actually unconditional. Yay. You can open your eyes, keeping the gaze soft. And slowly bringing your awareness all the way back. Thank you.